No, but a lot of people ask me about that and say, what's the secret of Mrs. Brown? And I don't know if there is any secret about Mrs. Brown. She's a bitch.
Picture this, British comedy without Mrs. Brown's boys. Sounds impossible, right? Since exploding onto TV screens in 2011, this chaotic, crude, and unapologetically old-school sitcom has become a cultural phenomenon loved by millions, hated by critics, but impossible to ignore. Yet behind the laughter, the family show has faced dramatic cracks. Cast members have walked away, some quietly, others in explosive controversy. So what really happened? Today, we uncover the real reason why these actors left Mrs. Brown's Boys, and the truth might just shock you. Before it was a primetime hit, Mrs. Brown's Boys began on the modest stages of Ireland in the early 1990s. Brendan O'Carroll, then a struggling comedian and writer, dreamed up a character inspired by the matriarchs he grew up around, Agnes Brown, a no-nonsense Dublin mammy with a sharp tongue and a hidden heart of gold. Originally, Agnes wasn't even supposed to be played by Brendan, but when the actress cast in the role failed to show up for a live performance, Brendan grabbed a dress, a wig, and stepped in. The audience roared with laughter, and just like that, Mrs. Brown was born not on the page, but on stage. The live plays were raw, messy, and unpredictable. Lines were flubbed, cast members broke character, and Brendan often hurled jokes directly at the audience. That was the magic. It wasn't polished, but it was real. Working-class audiences saw a version of their families reflected on stage, louder, messier, and funnier. By 2011, nearly 20 years later, BBC One took a chance on adapting the stage chaos for television. Critics slammed it as outdated and cheap, but audiences tuned in by the millions. It became a household name, a Christmas Day staple, and even spawned a feature film, live arena tours, and endless merchandise. Brendan had built more than a show, he'd built a comedy empire, but the empire was also a family affair. Brendan's wife Jennifer Gibney played his on-screen daughter Kathy. His son Danny played Dermot, while his daughter Fiona took the role of Maria. Even his sister Eilish O'Carroll joined the cast as Winnie McGugan. That closeness gave the show a unique chemistry, but also made departures all the more dramatic. And those exits began to reshape the series forever. One of the first shocks came in 2022, when Fiona O'Carroll, Brendan's real-life daughter, announced she would not be returning for the live tour. Fiona had been there since the beginning, shaping Maria Brown into one of the most grounded characters in the madhouse of the Brown family. Maria wasn't flashy, she didn't have wigs, slapstick falls, or outlandish gags, but she was the calm in the storm the audiences stand in, reacting like a normal person amid the chaos. Without her, the show felt just a little less grounded. If Fiona's exit surprised fans, Rory Cowan's departure in 2017 broke their hearts. Rory, with his bleached hair, flamboyant outfits, and razor-sharp wit, was the soul of the show's comedy. His banter with Agnes and his joyful presence made him unforgettable. But Rory's story didn't begin on stage. He was originally Brendan's publicist, promoting the plays across Ireland and the UK. When the role of Agnes's son Rory needed filling, Brendan asked him to step in temporarily. He never left. Audiences adored him, and Rory became an irreplaceable part of the Brown family. So why did he walk away? Not because of fights or pay disputes, but because of something deeply personal. Rory had spent years caring for his elderly mother while juggling the grueling schedule of tours and filming. After her passing, he admitted, "I was sad on the show. I didn't enjoy it. I needed to go." It was grief, not conflict, that made him leave. The show recast his role with Damien McKiernan, but fans struggled to accept the change. The chemistry was gone. The timing felt different. For many, there would only ever be one Rory Brown. Rory, meanwhile, found new life elsewhere, joining the Irish soap Fair City and publishing his memoir Mrs. Cowan's Boy. His legacy in Mrs. Brown's Boys remains untouchable, a fan favorite whose joy lit up every scene. If Rory's exit was quiet, Gary Hollywood's was anything but. Gary played Dino Doyle, the flamboyant hairdresser and Rory's on-screen partner, and was loved for his sharp tongue and campy charm. But in 2020, Dino simply vanished from the Christmas specials. With no explanation, fans were left baffled until the truth came out. According to Gary, he and Damien McKiernan were paid significantly less than other cast members for the specials. When he raised the issue, he claimed he was dismissed from the show. What followed was explosive. Gary filed a lawsuit against Brendan O'Carroll and the production team, citing unfair dismissal, discrimination, and unequal pay. Suddenly, the family sitcom was at the center of a very public legal battle. Fans were divided. Some sided with Gary, arguing he'd been wronged after years of loyalty. Others defended Brendan, calling it a misunderstanding. Brendan denied discrimination and expressed disappointment at how it played out. But one thing was clear: Dino was gone, and the show lost a character who brought energy, flair, and balance. Then there's Jennifer Gibney, Brendan's wife, who played Kathy Brown, the intelligent, modern daughter constantly undermined by her mammy. In the early years, Kathy was vital, the straight-laced counterpoint to the chaos. But over time, Kathy appeared less and less. Fans speculated, was Brendan sidelining his own wife? Was there tension off-screen? The truth, as Jennifer Gibney later explained, was far less dramatic than rumors suggested. She and Brendan O'Carroll both agreed that Kathy's character had run its natural course. After years of failed romances, witty sarcasm, and constant exasperation at her mother's antics, they felt there was little left to explore. Rather than force recycled storylines, they chose to ease Kathy into the background. Though never officially written out, her presence slowly diminished, leaving the household more chaotic and the comedy broader. Her sharp eye rolls and dry wit had once balanced the madness, and without them, the show leaned further into slapstick. Then came Damien McKiernan, who faced the daunting challenge of replacing Rory Cowan. As a former Mr. Ireland, Damien gave his all, but his subtler portrayal didn't resonate. By 2020, amid reports of pay disputes similar to Gary Hollywood's, Damien quietly vanished, ending his run without fanfare. Through all the exits, all the drama, and all the criticism, Mrs. Brown's Boys still stands as one of the most talked about comedies of its time. It's old school, unrefined, and defiantly itself. Critics may sneer, but audiences still tune in, proving the power of laughter, even messy, chaotic laughter. The show's legacy isn't just in the punchlines or the wigs, but in the resilience of its cast and the risks Brendan O'Carroll took to bring Agnes Brown to life. But as the departures show us, even the funniest families have cracks. Some leave quietly, some leave loudly, and some leave because they need to write their own story. Which cast departure from Mrs. Brown's Boys shocked you the most, and why? Was it Fiona O'Carroll walking away from her father's empire, Rory Cowan stepping out for grief, Gary Hollywood's dramatic lawsuit, Jennifer Gibney's quiet fade, or Damien McKiernan's unceremonious disappearance? So, which departure shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video with fellow fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories from behind the scenes. Thanks for watching.